Hey up guys, and welcome to another in a series of star players, and we're going to be looking at my Norse team. First team I created as Norse, and it was against AI opponents like before, just to sort of get a grips with the team. It was my first team created since getting the DLC, and really enjoy playing as Norse. Really good starting team, difficult to develop into high team value, they're easy to injure, tough to get your players levelled up. But I've created this team against Norse just to sort of show you what you can do with a high team value Norse side, plus also a few sort of hints and tips maybe as to how I've got them to this sort of level. I know it's easier versus AI than it is in multiplayer, but you know, using sort of this development that I've done with this Norse team, it might help you. I'll give you a few ideas in respect of getting them a bit more sort of indestructible, getting them sort of you know, your positionals to a higher sort of level, that kind of thing. We'll go in them anyway and have a look. Let us know if it's any help at all in, you know, building your teams up, what you think about the skills I've chosen, that sort of thing. It'd be great to hear. I think starting off roster, you've got so many choices, you've got so many positionals, players for this team, ways to go, ways to build them, and I think I went with the Yeti, two berserkers, a thrower, a runner, and with one wolf, and the rest were linesmen, and that gave me enough money for 2 rerolls. But there's plenty of ways to start your Norse team, to build them up. As you find with your Norse team starting roster, you get plenty of block, you get plenty of frenzy, you've got sort of really useful players for a low team value sort of start up. But your negative is you do get a lot of players with armor 7, so that sort of counteracts you developing your team to a high value team, because players get injured so easily. But anyway, we'll go and have a look at them, talk about them a little bit, that kind of thing. We start off with the Yeti, and it is, again, it's one of the teams I consider putting your big guy in, or getting your big guy in there as quickly as possible. It does prove vital in this team, not only because of his strength but because of his skill access as well. So we'll open him up, talk about him, have a look. Great looking models. Love these guys, love the sort of gauntlets, the shoulder armour, the sort of ankle armour going on there, the skulls, really good. Love the beards. I like the movement on the pitch as well, love them moving about, sort of pounding about. Really cool characters, and they get some really useful starting skills as well. He's the only player in your side that's going to have access to claw, so on that basis it's disturbing presence as well. On that basis, I sort of give him, I do put him, start with a Yeti in the team. He's going to be picking up injuries, he's got the claw, he's going to be vital against your higher armor valued sides, that sort of thing. So really handy players to have in this team, in a sort of human based side. To have some claw in there is really, really good, and he's proved vital in the matches that I've had. Looking at the skills that I've given him here, he's got access to strength only, so as you can see there, all the skills that I've chosen are only strength access basis, base skills. So I've gone piling on guard, juggernaut, stand firm. I'll do that in a slightly different order. I'd suggest that you go with the guard, get a guard in there as quickly as possible on your team. Then look at getting the piling on. The piling on has got him tons and tons of points, where he's not been able to injure them with his first goal, or he's got a stun or a KO, and I've decided to take the risk with the piling on, and he's picked up an injury or a death, that type of thing. So it has been a really useful skill on him. The only trouble with your piling on, obviously, is that your guy does go prone on the floor, so you risk of fouls on him, that type of thing. Plus, he needs really a good roll 4+, don't you, for him to move on his next turn, to stand up and move, that type of thing. So it is dependent on the rolls. With respect to this guy leveling up, I mean, you do want to get a double on, and you want to get block as quickly as possible. I should probably have got rid of this guy 3 or 4 skills in, with him not getting a double, and tried to develop a stronger Yeti, you know, in the hope of getting plus strength or a double on him there. But his other skills that have been given, guard, brilliant, stand firm, really, really good, and then juggernaut for his blitzes, to go with his frenzy, good skill to go with his frenzy, and helps him not risk turnover if he gets a both down, that type of thing, from his 2-3 die blocks. So critical player, really good player. They can be frustrating like most of the big guys, but I think you really do have to go with them in your Norse team to make them a good outfit. And we'll go on to our berserkers. I've got 2 in the team. I think I started off with 2, as I said. Again, really good set of skills to go with, start off with. You've got your block, you've got your frenzy, you've got your jump up. So there's already tons of surfing potential in your team. And these guys, with the jump up, you want to develop them into your sort of piling on type players. As you can see with this guy, I've gone a little bit differently here because of his roles. So I have developed him an agility sort of side of things, but I mean, I picked the dodge. I want the dodge on these guys. Really strong positionals, very important positionals. Going to be doing a lot of the work, a lot of your blitzes. Getting a dodge on this guy was really good first roll, or getting a double. I chose dodge, should I say, and then after that it's been followed up with the agility. So you know, I've landed a good one there. I mean, picking the dodges and then getting the agility is proven it's worth, you know, and having an agility 4, or as many agility 4 players as you can in this team really does help, because they've got good movement. They can outrun a lot of teams. They get the block from the start off on the majority of your players. So, you know, getting sort of agility based players in there to go along with your with your blocking sort of style, because it is a very sort of blocky style bashy team, this. It develops, it gives you a lot more potential for scoring and getting. I mean, these guys now win a lot of games, sort of 3-0, that kind of thing. So you're getting a lot of touchdowns to go with the potential of picking up a lot of injury, or getting a lot of injuries on the opponent's side. Going back to this guy, I've finally given him there. I've got the mighty blow and the tackle, so it makes him a really, really good surfer. With the sidestep there, he's not going to get surfed himself after doing so to an opponent. He's going to be on the sideline. He's going to be able to step out into an empty square. So the last skill I'm looking to pick on this guy would be the piling on. It'd be a waste to have the jump up and not get the piling on. I think you've got to, you know, have the piling on these 2, or on your berserkers if you take 2, and to become, you know, the ultimate piling on guy. 3 really good skills. So you're picking up 6 skills finally. To go with your jump up, frenzy and block, makes them brilliant players, really, really good players. Respect to his characteristics, I'd probably I'd probably consider all of them there, but if I got the movement stroke armour role, I'd probably pick armour, just to make him a bit more solid, to make him less likely to die, to get injured, because he is an expensive player and he is a really important positional. Try and keep him on the pitch, try and develop him as much as possible, and the extra armour, I think, does that, helps you with the Norse team, make them, you know, armour 8 is a big difference to an armour 7 player, massive difference. And then you know, strength, agility, really good choices if you get them to go on these players also. So then, you know, movement, you know, you've got your runners, you've got your movement 7 guys in the team. You can, you know, you can go that way with them, but I'd prefer the armour way, to be perfectly honest. Look at the next guy. Developed as slightly bit differently to the first Berserker, and he's got mighty blow, tackle, piling on. So, you know, you've got a really dangerous player there, straight off, 3 skills in. Got a guard on this guy, and again, I think it's a really good choice, a really good skill to pick and get on your Norse team. They do like the strength, you do need your guard, and you get quite a few strength access guys, so it's probably worth getting a guard on all of them if you can, or if you deem it necessary. You know, and then hope to get a double on, say, some of your linesmen as well, to get some extra guard in there. I mean, guard's just sort of a team-based skill, isn't it? It helps your team rather than the actual character himself. But you know, getting it on a good number of players there really does help this side. And the bashy style, getting the 2 die blocks in, that type of thing. This guy's final skill, it's going to be he's going to probably be stand firm, because he's got strength access. Unless they're getting another double, I could, you know, look at giving him sidestep, which I think is a better skill. But I'd say stand firm. Then he's a really good surfer. He's not going to get knocked off at the side of the pitch. He's going to be able to stand firm and hopefully get away from that position. You know, turn us all later on. I think they're pretty good characters, some of the Norse. You know, you've got a lot of positionals, you've got a lot of differential, you know, different characteristics, different sort of stats, and different ways to play this team. But I found these guys, the Wolves, I found them a little bit sort of underwhelming, to be quite honest with you. I found them one of the weaker, if not the weakest, strength 4 actual players, starting players that I've had in a team thus far. And it might be down to the fact that I've been taking Mighty Blow quite late on with these guys, but I also don't like the fact that they start off with armour 8, and I like to give, with this team, I try to shore up as many of the players as possible, just to make them able to reach that high team value. And even against AI opponents, it's tough with armour 7, armour 8 guys to get that far, and I think doing that has really aided me in building these players up, and it is a way that I'd look at developing a multiplayer Norse side as well. And I think you should, you know, consider putting the extra armour on the majority of these guys, just to get as many players as possible, more solid base sort of spine through your team, and giving it to the armour 4 guys who want, the strength 4 guys who want to keep alive and keeping the team as long as possible without, you know, having to recreate them, as proved critical. So there you go. I mean, I chucked the extra armour on, and I've got the block, and I've got extra movement, and it's quite surprising it has come in. It's made him a movement 7, strength 4, agility 2, armour 9 player. I mean, those stats are really good. If you look at your other strength 4s, he's got a lot more extra movement there. He's got the Mighty Blow, he's got the Frenzy, so he's got a couple of skills there to finish off with. And I'd probably look at putting tackle on him there and stand firm, just to go with his Frenzy. I could consider maybe tackle Juggernaut. I could even consider piling on as well, and a guard wouldn't be amiss on this guy either. So there's plenty of choice there for his final 2. Let us know what you think about these guys. I mean, actually, as the models themselves, I think they look quite good, but I think they should be a bit more imposing. I think they should be bigger models. I think they should be sort of the size of the Black Hawks, so you can tell the difference. And then you look at these and you look at your normal players, they're sort of the same size. Um, so maybe, I'd like to have seen them a little bit bigger, to be perfectly honest with you. And I might, I'd like to consider that, these guys have got claws. Why can't they have a claw to start off with as well, like your Yeti? It'd make this team really, really good then, to have sort of 3 claws, mighty blow access players. But maybe they'd be starting a bit too overpowered, and a lot of players would be picking them on that basis. But there's your wolf guys anyway. Nice models, but I still think they should be a little bit different. And there's your second, and again he's got his friends he start off with. I've given him block, try and shore up his, he's going to be getting a lot of 2-die blocks turned into 2-die blocks there. And with your friends, you want to be backing them up. You want to make sure that your 2 dies aren't going into 1 die. And you want to make sure that they're not going into half dies as well, because of other players, opposition's players and guard and things like that working against you. So you've got to be really careful with the amount of frenzy in this team, but you've got so much surfing potential, as I've said before. Again, I've shored him up there with the extra armour. I've given him the mighty blow. Great to get on these guys. Probably I'd taken that third, second, sorry, if I didn't get the extra armour. And I've put guard on this guy, so he's doing a bit of a job there for the team. With his strength 4, the guard really does come in as well. And then his final skills again, you can be looking at tackle, piling on again, stand firm, to help with his frenzy. You're hoping for an improvement on characteristics, extra strength, great. I've picked the extra movement, I picked the extra armour, talked about that a little bit and how that does help. With the extra movement, it does come in with your frenzy capability, or it comes in with his blitzing capability as well, and sort of surfing, that kind of thing. And we'll go on to another of the positionals, which is your runner, and I've got 2 in the team. I think I started off with 1 and then I've gone into 2. I like having the team receiving the ball. I like to go with the Yeti, 2 berserkers, 2 runners, a thrower, 2 wolves, and the rest linesmen. And I think that's a really, really strong lineup. But it does take a bit of time to build your team to get those players, because you can't have them all in there from the start. You just haven't got enough money. These guys, the movement 7, strength 3, agility 3, armour 7 guys starting off. They're very elf-like, general and agility basis, access, block, great to have. On your first skill you're going to take a dodge there, and you're going to have a blodge movement 7 runner that has Dauntless. And Dauntless is worth mentioning as well, because it really does come in on these guys. To have a couple guys there with the Dauntless skill in a team that you're going to be facing a lot more higher sort of strength sides than the Norse. Your Dauntless really does come in, and then especially on a sort of an extra movement guy. If you can get the Dauntless to work for you with the extra movement, get away from players, those sort of things. If you've got the bow or going for the ball, that type of thing. Characteristics wise, again, I'd say any of these. You'd be looking at taking any of these. Extra strength I've got on this guy, it's turned him into a really, really handy player, and I've developed him a lot better. A lot of my blitzes now come from this actual player rather than the wolves and my berserkers. I tend to use this guy as my surfer, not have him wide on the pitch there, but also tend to go with this guy because he's got the extra movement. Find him really useful in respect to try to remove an opponent's player as quickly as possible and getting numbers advantage as quickly as possible in the team or in the game. So with this guy, I've got the dodge, general roll there. I've got the extra strength, brilliant, and then I got a double. And with having the extra strength, there's only one option for me really, was to take my blow to make him that much more dangerous. As I say, in blitzing, I've got the tackle on him as well there, and I've given him frenzy. So I've got another frenzy guy in the team, which gives me a total of 6 guys to go to there with frenzy, which is absolutely, opponents are really scared of putting players on the sidelines in that sort of area, or there would be if you were facing someone on multiplayer. AI tend to put players there, and it is easy to get serves and injuries, but having 6 guys there is absolutely amazing. His final skill, I mean, I'd be looking at giving him sidestep there just to shore him up, just to make sure he's not getting surfed himself. And my second runner, you can see here that they just developed 2 different ways, 2 different players, but this guy's got some characteristic roles as well. So they're 2 really good players, but for 2 different reasons. And he's got his block, he's got his dauntless, he's got his dodge, so they're going the same avenue there. But then this guy's been shored up, he's got the extra armour, like I've mentioned. I like putting in this team, getting on as much players as possible. Then he's got his sidestep, and another really good handy skill, really good agility skill. It's probably your second agility skill that you'd be wanting to pick out of any agility based player. And then I've got extra movement twice, so I've got a movement, I've got a 1 turn guy here now. Really useful player. Movement 9, strength 3, agility 3, armour 8. I mean, that sounds really good, doesn't it? As a Norse runner, if you know you're going to get roles like that, you'd take it, wouldn't you? You'd say, yes please, I'll have them. His final skill, there's a few general you could pick, but I don't think there's anything really useful. I'd probably go jump up on this guy. He's got the extra movement, he's got the sidestep, he's a blodge guy, runner. He's going to be having the ball, he's going to be getting the ball. An extra agility on this guy would be immense. It'd be really good. But if it was just a general, yeah, I'd probably go jump up here, just because he can jump up. If he passes the roll, he jumps up, he can move 9 squares again, so he's great to have in the opponent's half. He's always going to be a threat on that basis, even if he's been knocked down. And then we go to our final position here, which is the thrower. So you can see here, I mean, this team's been made up of tons of positional players out of the starting 11. And you can go with them, like I say, I do on my kick-off event if I'm receiving, or you can change it up, try and shore it up a little bit if you're defending with a few extra linesmen and not lose too many of your valuable players, or risk too many of your valuable players getting injured, that type of thing. These guys, they're pretty good ball carriers, or you can develop them into really good ball carriers. They've got general and passing, so you're looking to get sort of similar things to I've got here in respect of characteristics, or doubles. And I've gone extra armour again, and we talked about that, but I've given him short hands, make him a really good ball carrier, make him better at picking the ball up as a quarterback, as a thrower. He's got a better chance of picking it up there, really good to get on him as early as possible. Then you can stick him at the back. He's got movement 6 generally, but this guy's got the extra movement now, real handy to have on the thrower. He can pick the ball up, get it up the field with it, get into a cage or into an area that's safe with the ball. The movement 7 really does come in with that. I'd take that on him all day long. Extra strength, extra agility would come in, no doubt about that. And then I've got the double, so giving him dodge, so he's blodge carrier, really handy to have. He's got accurate now to go with his passing, so he is a decent thrower. The agility would just shore that up so much, wouldn't it? But you're relying on getting that role, aren't you, there? And they've been pretty lucky in this team already. So what would his final skill be there? I mean, there's a few passing, there's a few general that that would come in, wouldn't be great. Could probably go pro, something like that. I'd choose as his final skill. You know, I think that would be pretty good because I mean he's going to get a double. He's got his short hands and he's got his pass. So if he fails them, he's going to get another go at them anyway. Um, so a pro also on there. I think that would be pretty good. I think that would be a good final choice. Let us know what you think about that and where to go. Would it be better putting something like leader on him, hoping for a double? Would you give him, strong arm on a double? Would you go something out, a different way? Let us know what you think. And we'll move on to our next, which are our linesmen. And you can see here that I've got quite a number of these guys levelled up. And these are your bog standard players. These are your players that are going to be on the line, but they start off with block, so they're really useful linesmen type players. Start in in your team. You've got block all the way through the team, majority of your team there, and you can develop these guys if you get a stat characteristic, stat improvement on these guys. It makes them so useful. And getting doubles on them too, like most players, improves them immensely. And I've been lucky enough with this guy, agility and then a dodge. So I've got another really good agility 4 dodgy player in the team. So vital to have on the bashy side. But these guys, being bashy, also being decent in sort of your movement allowance as well. Getting this extra agility and having a thrower in there, you've got so many ways to approach the game and approach the different opponents that you face that you don't get with some sides. So it's good to get these guys levelled up. I wouldn't say that you're going to get them to this sort of level. You're going to have to be pretty lucky to have your armour 7 linesmen survive as long as I have here. But this guy's getting tons of touchdowns. He's proving vital with his extra agility and his dodge. I've given him strip ball. I should probably have given this guy something else. I don't know, strip. He's really going to be doing many sort of blitzes on the enemy ball carrier, that sort of thing. But I wanted it in the team, so I banged it on this guy. I've also given it kick-off return, so he moves those 3 extra squares on the kick-off event. Really useful to have on an agility player. And then we've got a few more guys here. Again, you see they've got a few roles. I've given another guy extra armour here, and then all these other skills there. General basis, general access, which is what he's got. But the extra characteristic shores him up. Armour +1. Great to get on these guys. Make them an armour 8. Make them more survivable. As you can see there in the team now, if you go down from the sort of 1 to 11, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's only 5 in the first starting 11 that I've got armour 7. So I've got a couple armour 9s in there that would have been 8s. I've got 3 armour 7s, armour 8s in there now that would have been armour 7s. You can see how much more solid the team looks. And if you're an opponent facing that side, the players that you're targeting, sort of the numbers of players that you're targeting drops, or the players that you're more likely to injure drops. By choosing the extra armour on this team. Here you go, I got another guy who's got a double, he's got dodge, tackle. Good to get a few dodgers on the team also. Yeah, you can see I've got quite a number of blodgers on the side now. If you're looking all the way through it, I've got the runners, and I've got the thrower, and I've got a couple linesmen, and I've also got one of my berserkers. So you've got plenty of dodging capability there, and there's a number of them I've actually got agility 4 also. And then final thing to finish the team off is your dirty player. Quite good foulers, and I'd say you need to throw as many fouls in on your higher sort of strength sides as possible with this team. Try and get numbers advantage, try and get a strong bench because you have got some weak players there. Expect them to get injured, that type of thing. So yeah, try and get them. I'm gonna get another dirty player here if possible. I know that this guy's not got any skill points as yet, but I have been losing quite a lot of my linesmen in the latter games. So my benches have sort of been 14, 15 strong, and I am losing numbers. I am getting rid of players, firing them, and hiring new players as I get a bit of money in. And trying to keep all the positionals safe is critical in this team. The only thing I'd say about the other thing I'd say about the Norse, looking at them, they look a bit plasticky. I mean, your linesmen are the worst, most sort of looking model. Not much going no much going about them there. I know they've got a bit of tat. The models do look a bit better now when you zoom in. They have got a few scars. They have got a bit of texture on there, a bit of hair on the chest, that sort of thing. So they have improved slightly. But I'd like to see these models looking sort of a little less plasticky, a few more sort of variety about the tattoos, that sort of thing. Maybe the armour, maybe it's the fact that they're under crackers. I'm not so sure if I'm that keen on that kind of look. But some of the players I do like. What I think would be really good, not just in this team, but in teams in general, would be improvements in the players in respect of your characteristics. I think it'd be really, really good. It would be so cool if, say, your movement 7 players looked slightly different. You could develop them a little differently. Or, if they were movement 6 and they got the extra movement, and then you move strength 3, if you got a strength 4 guy, it'd be a bit bigger. Or a strength 4 guy to a strength 5, made him even bigger. That type of thing. I know it'd be a lot of work for these guys and all the different sort of models they've got, but it'd be so cool. And you got your extra armour, if he was an armour 7 like this guy and he got extra armour, so his armour 8, maybe he got another shoulder armour thing on there, so he'd look a little bit different. It'd sort of go in, it sort of, it'd tally with the fact that you've improved him. The model would improve also. I think that'd be a really good thing if they could bring it in. So, have a think about it anyway, and let us know if you agree with it, disagree with it, that type of thing. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you can check out my others. I'm getting through them as quickly as possible. I've got plenty of other teams on the go, so there will be some more coming along soon. Anyway, guys, take care. See you soon.